This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Hey, remember that camera I said I'd never get, then actually kind of became my favorite camera? It's still great. Oh, the lens cap's on. So this Fuji X100V, as we all know and love, the camera that kind of broke the internet a few times, that sold out, and then they came out with the second one, and then that one sold out, and now this one is being discontinued, and then I made a video talking about how I'm not gonna be getting the new one and why, even though I wouldn't be mad at it, just for the record, I wouldn't be mad at it. Here we are a year later. I have very much enjoyed using this, and I'm gonna talk about some of the use cases in which I have very much enjoyed using this camera, and I'm gonna give you my favorite recipes today because it's taken a year to accumulate some, and just to prove how much I've loved this camera, I got a lens protector, sorry. See this crack? This is already a little scratched because it's been shoved in my camera bag. The top of this is getting a little musty, crusty, dusty in the little nooks and crannies here. She's been well loved. I also almost lost this knob, and I say almost because I swiftly bought a second one to replace it. So she's being put through her paces. She's been to New Orleans, she's been to Peru, she's been to Spain, Iceland, Switzerland, definitely more places that I can't remember, but I feel like those are some of the big ones. Two things about when I've been traveling with this camera. One, as I mentioned, it's just easy to grab and go. It's easy for my friends to grab it and take photos, and then it's really easy to immediately have those photos with the recipes already baked into the JPEGs that I can share with my friends, post instantly to stories, or just finally have photos already edited that I don't have to wait to edit down the line. They're just immediately done. That is a big yes for this camera. The second thing that I've loved is when I have my A7R IV with, like, say it's a 100 to 400 on, I can keep this also around my neck as a second body, and when I happen to see a frame that looks better wider than obviously the 100 to 400, I can just snap it with this, and so it's kind of like having, well, it is like having two bodies. It's just one's a fixed lens and one's interchangeable, but at least then it makes it so much easier when I'm walking around and shooting to get both focal lengths and both perspectives really easily. I don't have to change a lens like 30 times throughout the day. And fun fact, I actually shot for the Andalusia tourism board with this camera, and some of the photos that were taken on this were not only my favorites from the trip, but they are being published in a book with some other incredible photographers that I'll show you right here, including Alex Stroll and including Taylor Pendleton, to name a few. So Fuji X100V, despite what people say about it potentially not stacking up to be print worthy, I highly disagree. If I'm ever in doubt about whether I should be bringing a camera, it's kind of a no-brainer just to grab this as you're heading out the door, and there's usually one or two interesting photos that you'll see on your walk to the restaurant, on your trip, or on a family weekend at the cottage.
You enjoying this video? Cool. Couple things I'm gonna ask you to do then. One, maybe subscribe to my channel. Two, listen to me talk about Squarespace for a minute. Thanks. I used Squarespace to make my website. I legitimately did, even before they paid me to do this ad. The template I chose was clean and stylish, and I literally built it myself. I really struggle with design, but Squarespace made it super easy for me to showcase my portfolio beautifully. The platform is super easy for me to customize, update regularly, and I can get analytics about the purchases made on my digital products through my online store. And I run my own business, so I don't have time to learn a whole new platform. All right, so head over to Squarespace for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, you can use this code right here to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks, Squarespace. Now back to the video.
Okay, so without further ado, let's get into some of the recipes. My first one, which I think is a lot of people's favorite recipe, is Portra 400. It's a classic. Here are the different settings for Portra 400. And by the way, all of these are being taken, pretty much all of them, except for one I got off of a random YouTube video. All of them are coming from the Fuji X Weekly website, which is kind of the #1 place to find most of these. The next one is CineStill 400D, and I like this one because it really just, it looks like a frame from film. It's got these really deep, rich greens, and it's just a beautiful look overall. The next one is called Vibrant Arizona. Now this one is really flat, really neutral, very warm, deserty, also super cool, interesting look. You'll notice that all of these are very different because I can't really justify finding multiple recipes or loading in multiple recipes that all just look slightly different. I want really dramatic looks across the board. The next one would be Summer 1960, which is pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. Then we have this nostalgic negative recipe, and I know it was from the Fuji X Weekly website. I don't remember which iteration it is, but nonetheless, here you have the settings. And probably my top favorite would be this Kodachrome 64. And the last one I loaded pretty recently. Oh, this has been to Aruba as well. In Aruba, I loaded this Flash preset that I got off of this YouTube video. So I will give credit to, I don't remember his name, this gentleman right here for that one. And I definitely need to take some more photos with it, that's for sure. So I hope you maybe see a couple recipes here that you want to try out, and I'll see you in another year when I probably have even more to say about this camera. If you guys also have any recipes that you would like me to share or try out, please drop them in the comments below. I would love to try out some new ones. See you next year, bye!